Yo, if you guys are looking for the best Black Ops 6 settings to lower latency and boost FPS and get that competitive advantage, you came to the right video. Today we're going to be giving you guys an in-detail look at what you should be changing and what you should be doing. All right, so without further ado, let's hop right into the video. We're not going to waste any time on this. All right, so coming over to quick settings, and yes, I know these are technically personal preference, but if you're playing something with competitive, something comp, some ranked, I recommend something between 5 and 7. And make sure you have the ADS multiplier at 1.0. Controller vibration, make sure you have that turned off. And for field of view, if you're playing competitive, something between 100 and 110, 112 should be good. A lot of people sleep on this part right here, the color customization. You don't want to see your name in the kill feed. You don't need to see yourself on the minimap, so turn that to dark red. You want to be counting kills of the other team. Keep your team as blue. Make your party a little bit different color blue, just so it's along the same line, so you don't get confused. You just want to have blue and yellow, basically. And the reason we put yellow for the enemy is because yellow is the quickest color to register in the brain. So if you guys are truly looking for the highest competitive advantage, switch it to yellow, and also put the contested flag as yellow also. All right, so coming over to controller settings now, you guys, the only thing I changed in here was the dead zone inputs. If you guys have a newer controller that isn't too beat, I recommend using something around 2 to 5 for your left and right stick minimum. If your controller's a little beat, use something around 10 to 12. And for the left and right trigger, drop that down to 2 so you guys have some homemade hair triggers. We didn't change anything in aiming, so let's move over to movement. For the sprint assist, you guys want to have tactical sprint assist on, unless you guys don't like that. I guess that could be personal preference. But if you have it on, make sure sprint assist is down to 0 or tac sprint won't work as intended. Turn mantle assist off, crouch assist off, corner slice keep on, slide dive behavior, tap to slide. I would turn on this auto door peek. That's a new feature they brought in this year. If you guys play Warzone, you already know about this one, the parachute automatic. Turn that off so you can get the lowest drop possible. I also turned mantle cancels reload off. Now coming over to the movement advanced settings, I think the only thing I changed in here was the sprinting door bash. I can't remember if that comes default or not. If it's not on, turn it on. That's it for the movement tab. Moving over to the combat tab, you guys want to make sure you have the mount activation off. You also want to make sure you have apply all for your armor plate behavior. And for C4 detonation, I turned it to 1 by 1 so I don't waste them all in one go. This next setting is an absolute sleeper. I don't see enough people doing this. Come down to interact, reload behavior, change it to prioritize interact. This lets you pick up and drop weapons, open and close doors by just pressing X instead of holding it. We all know it's quicker to pick up a gun than it is to reload our own gun. And if you guys plan on playing competitive or ranked, I suggest having that on. Coming down to overlay behaviors, if you guys go to overlay advanced settings, another one I don't hear people talking about is this double tap danger ping. Changing this to short will allow you guys to danger ping a lot quicker. You guys know in competitive, no one's using their mic, so if you want to tell your teammate something without taking your fingers off the button for too long, I suggest turning that to short. All right, so coming over to graphic settings, if you guys have really bad packet burst, make sure you're running this in full screen borderless and not full screen exclusive. I was lagging like crazy and that seemed to fix the issue. Make sure you have VSync off and come down to custom frame limit. If you guys have a PC, I suggest using your custom menu limit down to like 30 or 40 just to give your GPU a break in between games and lower that GPU temperature. It does help with performance. Make sure you have HDR off, and that should cover the entire display settings. Let's move over to quality. If you guys are running an NVIDIA GPU, I suggest DLSS without a doubt. It'll give you the highest frames. And if you have an AMD graphics card, I suggest for the highest FPS, use FSR1. If you guys don't really play competitive, don't really care too much, just want better quality, FSR3. And if you guys try fidelity cache, you can use the benchmark system and just figure out what actually works best for your hardware and pick which one gives you the best performance. And if you guys are wondering, I do have my DLSS sharpening up to 100. All right, so coming down to details and textures, texture resolution low, texture filter low, depth of field off, detail quality low, particle resolution very low. You want to have bullet impacts on, persistent effects off, shader quality low, on-demand texture streaming minimal. The drop down tab, I have it at 32. Local texture normal, shadow quality very low, screen space shadows off, occlusion off, screen space reflections off, static reflection quality low. Coming down to environment tessellation, you want to have at near, volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, weather grid volumes off. And for water, this is all personal preference. You might not be able to use water caustics. This one just looks the best and it's the easiest to see through the water, but if you can't use it, just turn it off. So moving over to view, you guys, we already covered FOV. you guys want to change your ADS field of view to affected. Make sure you have your weapon field of view on wide. And if you come down to camera, turn your world motion blur off. Your weapon motion blur, you want to have off also. And if you guys scroll down to inverted flashbang, I suggest having that on if you guys play competitive. It's a lot easier on the eyes. And if you guys want to test out your settings, use this benchmark system right here. This is what I was talking about earlier. You'll be able to test out all the settings and get the best FPS. So coming down to the audio settings, you guys want to make sure you're on 100 for master volume. Turn down your gameplay music volume, turn down the dialogue, and make sure you turn down that cinematic music volume. You guys just want to hear the effects. You guys want to hear the footsteps. This is a competitive settings video. So there is one more thing down here at the bottom that should help with long sessions of playing. This reduced tinnitus sound will help your ears, won't give you as much of a headache. And the hit marker preset is personal preference, obviously, but I put on classic because we're OGs like that. All right, so moving along to interface, guys, there's a few settings they added in here that weren't in previous Call of Duty, so take advantage of these now. One that might be useful is the skip kill cam. If you guys are playing hardpoint ranked, you guys trying to get back to the fight quicker, that might help. You don't technically need telemetry on, but I have it on because I like to manage my GPU temperature, my FPS, my latency, my packet loss. You guys want to copy that, you can. So that should be it for the global tab. There's nothing in readability, so we're going to skip over to gameplay HUD. And in here, there actually is a few hidden secrets you guys might want to take a look at. The first tab, HUD interface, you guys can actually change where your minimap is, what type of minimap you have, if it's zoomed in, if it's smaller. But I realized I didn't want to change any of that, and I came over to visuals, and you want to change your minimap shape to square so you can have more visibility on the minimap. You also want to make sure you have the scale up to 120. Usually it's at 100. I figured why not turn it up just a tiny bit just so I have a little bit more view on the minimap, especially when I'm playing competitive. I don't want to miss anything. And the only other thing that I ended up changing in here was actually the player names to abbreviated. I like it on abbreviated because when I'm calling out names of players in the competitive game, I like to be able to read their names clearly and tell them, yo, Gurt's going up top, yo, Killer's going down bottom. You know what I mean? If you guys play competitive, you know how important it is to be able to read the names in the kill feed, count kills, and also be able to call out exactly who's where, because you got to know if they have AR or SMG. There's a lot that goes into it, and it's very important that you guys are able to read the names of the people on the other team. If you guys learned anything new, consider subscribing. We will be posting Black Ops 6 content every week, giving you guys up-to-date classes, giving you guys rank play tips, giving you guys S&D routes, all the good stuff. So if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, hit that sub button, hit the like button, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.